Alright, so recently I made a video about how the MCU is going downhill with pretty much the entirety of Phase 4, in my opinion of course, and I still stand by everything I said in that video. Now while I don't think Werewolf by Night can redeem Phase 4 or fix the problems that the MCU currently has, I do think that it's a very pleasant surprise. This special isn't groundbreaking or anything like that, but it reveals that Marvel is capable of pulling back the reins a bit on mediocre superhero tales. This is a quick 1-hour special, completely in black and white, which always lends credibility and atmosphere to horror stories, that feels right to watch around Halloween. Character development isn't really present here, but this special isn't about diving deep into these characters. It's about plot and plot alone. And it totally worked for what the MCU was trying to accomplish here. The characters that matter are Elsa Bloodstone, her mother Verussa, and Jack Russell. Verussa calls on monster hunters to compete for the Bloodstone, which grants the wielder power and longevity. Russell is the werewolf, but he isn't there to compete. He's trying to save his friend Man-Thing. Russell and Elsa eventually work together to obtain the Bloodstone and free Man-Thing. In the end, Verussa tries to use the Bloodstone to cause Russell's transformation and kill Elsa, who has killed several of the other monster hunters, but it backfires on Verussa as the werewolf leaves Elsa alone and gruesomely kills Verussa's guards and escapes. Elsa then takes control of the Bloodstone, and Man-Thing and Jack Russell are just chilling outside in the forest. Only an hour with these characters, but they are adequately fleshed out. I know it seems crazy, but they are. They're obviously not fleshed out like characters who have received an entire series dedicated to them. They're more fleshed out like characters in a short story. In the future, I'm sure these characters will reappear and play more prominent roles in the overall MCU narrative. The costume design and the makeup are quite nice. The two absolutely supplement the dreary setting and the ambiance of it. Same thing could be said about the score and the sound effects. Both are dreadfully ominous, which is exactly how it should be. The werewolf is only in the last few minutes of this special, but that was fine for me. They blended the lore of the werewolf with aspects from the comics in an effective way. The werewolf transformation scene was awesome. The sputtering lights, Elsa in sheer terror, only seeing the shadows of the werewolf on the wall behind her. Very well done. I liked how the werewolf isn't a CGI mess either. He's more reminiscent of the 1941 Wolfman, looking like they dressed the actor up in a costume and makeup, and that's perfect. And then the slaughter begins. The werewolf tears through Verussa's guards. It's bloody and violent, just as it should be. There wasn't anything about this special that I didn't like. It's too quick for any real red flags to pop up, and it isn't interested in wasting your time by drawing this story out episodically. It's focused and over before you know it. I see this special as a test for Marvel, to try their hand at gore, violence, and horror all at the same time. Multiverse of Madness sort of veered into horror territory, but not nearly enough to be considered a horror undertaking. I am so glad that a story about a werewolf is bloody, because we've seen Marvel try and fail to place characters that should be in R-rated films in PG-13 films. The MCU certainly took a risk by making this special and including more violent content into their projects. However, it's the kind of ambitious risk that the MCU should be taking at this point. An array of by-the-books caped flicks can no longer exclusively sustain the MCU. That's why I enjoyed this special so much. It's to the point, it's very Halloween-y, and genre-focused. It does not feel like it's necessarily tethered to the MCU, although it is. Werewolf by Night will stand out amongst the rest of the MCU. It's also directed by Michael Giacchino. I didn't even know the guy directed, but I'm so glad he did, because he created a very spooky atmosphere with this special, and it feels unique, but also influenced by some of the greatest horror films of all time. Nice job with this one, Marvel. Here's hoping that Phase 5 is more in line with projects like Werewolf by Night. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'd be more than appreciative if you did. Have a great day, and I will see you all next week. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.